Hey everybody, now I'm going to show you how to find vertical and horizontal asymptotes on rational functions. What is a rational function? A rational function is a function that's going to be a fraction and have variables in it. So, generally speaking, it's p of x over q of x. P is the numerator, q is the denominator. Asymptotes, basically the way I look at asymptotes is they're like imaginary boundary lines that graphs typically do not cross over. And so we draw asymptotes with dashed lines. So that's going to be a vertical asymptote. Horizontal asymptote is, a dashed one that we draw asymptotes with dashed lines. And so I'm going to start off with vertical asymptotes because they're easier to teach, faster to teach. If we have y equals 10 over x minus 2, and I want you to find the vertical asymptote. Well, you find vertical asymptotes by whatever value of x gives you a 0 in the denominator, alright? Because if 0 is in the denominator, it's undefined because you cannot divide by 0. And since it's undefined there's going to be a vertical asymptote there. And so on this we have y equals 10 over x minus 2. So I'm going to find a vertical asymptote. I'm going to set x minus 2 equal to 0. Change sides, change signs. There's going to be a vertical asymptote at x equals 2. So x equals 2. There's going to be a vertical asymptote there. And so this graph is going to basically be looking like this. Alright? And it's going to get really close to the asymptote x equals 2, but this graph is not going to cross over it up here. It's not going to cross over the asymptote down there, but it's going to get really, really close to it. As I said, I look at asymptotes as imaginary boundary lines that typically graphs do not cross over. Alright, so that's that one. Let me give you another one. Say we have y equals 7 over x plus 4, and I want you to find the vertical asymptote. Well, you're going to set x plus 4 equal to 0. Solve for your variable, change sides, change signs. There's going to be a vertical asymptote on this graph at -4, because if x were -4, -4 plus 4 is 0. You'd have 7 over 0. You cannot divide by 0. That's undefined. So that's how come we have a vertical asymptote at that location. So x equals -4 is right there. Alright. And then, so if I type that in on the calculator, y equals 7 divided by the quantity x plus 4 and graph it, that guy is going to look like this. Okay? And there's going to be a vertical asymptote at x equals -4. And if you have something that's a little more complicated in your denominator, besides just, x to the first power, like the ones I've been showing you, because you can have more than one vertical asymptote on a rational function. For example, what I'm talking about on that is, say you have a function that looks like this. And I want you to find the vertical asymptote or the vertical asymptotes on this rational function. As I said, rational functions, it's going to be a fraction. There's going to be variables involved. Well, you have to find the vertical asymptote on this guy, x squared plus 5x minus 14 equal to 0. You factor that, x, one of each sign. Numbers that multiply to 14 that have a difference of 5, 7, and 2. and multiply 14 and have a difference of 5. And since the middle term is positive, the larger number 7 has to go beside the positive. So the 7 would go right there, the 2 would go right there. So that's how she factors. Set each factor equal to 0. Solve for your variable. X equals -7 and x equals +2. There's going to be 2 vertical asymptotes on this guy at x equals -7 and at x equals 2. I'm not going to graph out that function, but you know, where would the vertical asymptotes be at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. X equals -7 and x equals 2. Those are the 2 locations of where the vertical asymptotes would be located. There'd be a graph over here in this area, there'd be a graph in the middle section, and there'd be a graph over here on the right. And you know, if I were teaching this in person, we'd graph that on a calculator and look at it, but for time's sake, right now I'm just I guess on this lesson going to show you how, you know, it's all going to be about vertical asymptotes. I was going to do horizontal asymptotes, but I'm going to save that for a separate video, because horizontal asymptotes, there's several different scenarios you got to look at, and so it's going to take a little time, so I'm going to save horizontal asymptotes for the next lesson. Have a good one.